2025 is the beginning of a once-in-a-lifetime perfect storm for apologetics, polemics, and evangelism, or, putting all of these together in just the right environment, a revival. Apologetics is defending your own position, polemics is attacking an opposing position, evangelism is spreading the good news. A perfect storm is when you get a rare combination of events that combine and amplify until you get some sort of mega hurricane. You've never seen anything like this. Think about the features that have all lined up for this moment in history. First, going back about 15 or 20 years, we finally got open access to Muslims around the world. For 14 centuries, Muslim leaders were able to keep their people insulated from hearing criticisms of Islam and from hearing serious presentations of alternatives to Islam. Then, suddenly, we got open access to any Muslim with an internet connection. Muslims in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Iran finally started hearing the truth about Muhammad and about Jesus. 14 centuries of Christians couldn't have dreamed of the opportunities we have right now. Second, simultaneously, we got open access to their sources. If you go back just a century, you could find a translation of the Quran if you looked hard enough. But if you really wanted to know what's in the Muslim sources, you were going to have a difficult time finding it. Their main sources hadn't even been translated yet. This allowed Muslim preachers to say pretty much anything they wanted about Islam, and no one could correct them because no one knew what's in their sources. Fast forward to today, and we've got Sahih al-Bukhari, and Sahih Muslim, and Sunan Abu Dawud, and Sunan an-Nasai, and Jami' at-Tirmidhi, and Sunan Ibn Majah, and so on. And this allows us to expose the endless dawah lies. We're the first generation that has this open access to their sources. Third, there's the avalanche of apostasy. You've heard about the avalanche of apostasy. The apostasy rates among young Muslims went from close to 0% in the early 2000s to around 24% by 2020. This sent Muslim leaders into full panic mode.
24% of Muslim youth are leaving Islam.
Your child is about to become apostate. 23% are becoming apostates of Muslims, American-born Muslims.
Our Muslim friends had no idea how to react to the avalanche of apostasy. They'd never had to deal with it before. So what did they do? Well, in a panic, they replaced all of their most popular dawah champs with total narcissists who responded to all challenges with threats and insults. That didn't work, so they started grasping for any popular influencer they could bribe, and they ended up clinging out of sheer desperation to people like Andrew Tate and Sneeko and now Lily J. Things have gotten so bad we couldn't find anyone to stand up for Muhammad at DebateCon. I actually had to defend Muhammad at DebateCon 5. This is the state of dawah in 2025. Not looking good. It's crumbling from within. And they have no plan B. Fourth, the new atheism is collapsing. Shortly after 9/11, the so-called new atheists made a powerful prediction. If they could just get millions of people to leave Christianity and to become atheists, the world would become better, more enlightened, more rational, more scientific. Well, we've had more than 2 decades of people becoming atheists, and how has the world improved? How much closer are we to that scientific utopia we were promised? Nothing, not one word that the new atheists predicted came true. In fact, is it just me, or did the entire world suddenly seem to go completely insane the moment millions of people started becoming atheists? The new atheists have been exposed. They had nothing, literally nothing to offer the world apart from constantly screaming, "Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy." People have caught on to the bankruptcy of the new atheism, and the movement has lost all momentum. Fifth, young people are waking up. Studies in both the UK and the US have shown that the trajectory is changing. Young people in the UK are abandoning atheism. Atheism peaked among people my age and older. Young people are significantly less likely to identify as atheists than their parents were. As for the US, Pew Research just released their latest findings in a report titled decline of Christianity in the U.S. has slowed, may have leveled off. After years of steady decline, the numbers have started going up for the past few years. Sixth, people in the West have realized that secularism just isn't strong enough to protect the West from what's coming at us. We've got Marxism, wokeism, Islam, and the forces that want to tear down Christianity and Western civilization seem to get along really well with each other in spite of their differences, almost as if their real purpose is to tear down Christianity and Western civilization. People are realizing what they're up against, and they know that secularism isn't enough.
But you can see not only from the waves I've mentioned, the red wave of radical Marxism, the rainbow wave of the radical sexual revolution, and the black wave of radical Islamism. But you can also see how secular liberalism itself has failed.
Put all of this together, and Christians have an opportunity we've never had before and will probably never have again. And trust me, this is an opportunity you want to pounce on, because it's not going to last, at least not as it is now. Why not? Well, think about it. The young people who are abandoning atheism, this doesn't mean they're becoming Christians. They're turning to all kinds of things. They're open now. They're exploring options now. But if you're not there to talk to them, someone else will be there to talk to them. In other words, that young person who's open to listening right now might not be open to listening 2 years from now. And think about how some of the various issues I mentioned are connected. Here's an example. Many of the apostates who left Islam became apostates because of the new atheism. They bought it, and they left Islam. As the new atheism collapses, some of these apostates are going to start returning to Islam. They're going to say, we gave atheism a try, it didn't work. At least in Islam, I still had my family, I'm going back. So we have a temporary window, and we don't want to wait until it starts to close. What do we do? Few things. One, this is a really good time to make sure you understand what you believe, why you believe it, and how to share it. What you believe, why you believe it, and how to share it. What you believe, why you believe it, how to share it. 62% of young people in the UK are willing to listen to your case for Christianity if you've got one. Do you have one? If not, this is a really, really good time to get one. The doors are wide open. And don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to learn everything about everything, or that you have to learn to respond to every possible objection before you engage. You don't. You want to change the world? Learn one argument, learn one point, learn one verse, and use it over and over and over again. There are enough people in the world that you can spend your entire life presenting one point to them and never run out of people. Think about 1,000 Christians, each mastering a different point, and spending their lives making the point they mastered. Those Christians will change the world, even though each of them learns one point. So, learn something, learn it well, and use it. 2, there are some arguments that are more effective the more people there are who know about them. There are certain cases where it would be very, very helpful if millions of people all learned the same argument. At the top of this list would be the Islamic dilemma. If millions of Christians all learned what the Quran says about the Bible, dawah would be done. Ball game, stick a fork in it. So, why don't millions of people just learn it and end the dawah? Pure laziness, as far as I can tell. But this is not a time to be lazy. Make it a goal for 2025 to learn the Islamic dilemma this year. We will provide you with everything you need. Stay tuned. 3, be relentless. Have you noticed that the people who are spreading dangerous lies are completely relentless? Have you noticed that they just keep coming with lie after lie after lie, no matter how many times the lie is exposed? You need to be relentless too. This is beyond D-Day level significance here. 4, If you're able, be sure to support people who are doing things you know need to get done. All the things that need to get done, there are people who've dedicated their lives to doing them. If we're talking about authors, and you know about an awesome book, share that with people. If we're talking about content creators, you can share links to their content wherever someone needs that content. If people are doing this full time, there's probably a way to support them financially so they can keep doing what they're doing. We live in awesome times for that. Most of your favorite content creators probably have some crowdfunding option where their fans all chip in $1 or $2 or $10 a month, and it adds up to a person or an entire team being fully funded. If I'm one of your favorite content creators, you can chip in for my work on Patreon. There's a link in the description box. Any help would be much appreciated. But if you're able, support someone who's doing something you know needs to get done. Lots of awesome content creators doing lots of awesome work out there. Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago, I pulled back quite a bit. I didn't say nearly as much as I'd been saying for the decade before that, but I felt burnt out, unfocused, pretty low energy, which is weird because I'm normally pretty aggressive and amped up. So I didn't make a ton of content. Ended up doing other things, studying other things, jumping around from topic to topic. And now, as I'm looking back at everything I've been doing for the past few years, I realize it's all been preparation for right now. Every random topic I got interested in for a few months, everything that seemed like a distraction, it was all a bunch of pieces that just came together for right now. 2025 is going to be a year like no other. Catch me in December as we recap everything that happens between now and then, and try to tell me I was wrong. I'm saying it today in advance before it happens. Year like no other. Now, what are you doing staring at me? You've got work to do. If you're still not sure what to do, don't worry. I've got some ideas. More to follow.